there, I'm Amanda. I'm 45 now, but at 43, I was standing right here in my laundry room, folding someone's undies, and I had this aha moment that I was exhausted, anxious, and just frustrated all the time. It was like my new normal. Maybe you're feeling that way. And so I went to my doctor, my gynecologist, and asked for help. I said, what is going on? Is there something I should be doing differently now that I'm over 40? Maybe with my eating or exercise. I noticed I'm eating as little as I can, but I'm still gaining weight. I've started adding on a Saturday exercise, but I'm just so tired from that. And they both said to me almost exactly the same thing. No, you're in perfect health. Your labs are great. You're really healthy for a 40-year-old. This is just normal in your 40s because of your hormones, and there's really nothing you can do. So just hang in there until menopause. And I tried to hang in there, but I came to my lowest of lows when I wasn't able to get out of bed in the morning to help take care of my family. My husband was taking over, getting the kids to school, and I was scared. But I also said to myself, you know, Amanda, I think you're gonna have to become the CEO of your own health here. And I started looking, and I discovered something called the faster way to fat loss. And at the time, at first, I thought, do I really want to try another diet? Like, isn't that just another chance to fail and maybe even prove to myself that this just is how it is after 40? I think I would just, that's really what I was thinking. But I tried anyway. And thank goodness I did, because 2 weeks into that, I realized that I was going to get better. It was amazing. My energy was coming back. It was easier to get out of bed in the morning, and my good moods were coming back. And I just had this feeling. I would tell my husband, I'm like, I've got this feeling. I'm thinking like, I've got this. It was so strange. Now, in hindsight, 2.5 years later, I get what was happening. My hormones were coming into balance because of the strategies, the systems that we were using in this faster way to fat loss program. And that is what I want to share with you. If you are also 40-ish, even 35-ish, because when I look back, I see this started around age 35 for me. And you are feeling like nothing's working anymore. Nothing's working to lose weight anymore. And even worse, nothing's working to give you your energy back or your good mood. You're feeling frustrated and anxious, and you're not even really sure why, and no one can give you any other answers. And you're maybe even thinking, like I did when I went to the doctor, is there something I should be doing different now that I'm 40? My body's probably changed. Should I eat a little differently? Should I have different portions? Should I exercise different? Yes. So I'm so glad that we connected so I could share with you very briefly, in a nutshell, what I'm doing, what I learned in my Faster Way to Fat Loss program as a client, and what I now coach other women and men around, because I am now a Faster Way to Fat Loss coach. The program, the system that the Faster Way taught me has worked so well for me. I came to another aha moment where it just came out of the blue, like, I've got to share this. The truth is we can get better after 40, and I'm not going to keep that to myself when I know how bad it felt to hear that I couldn't get better after 40 from my doctor and gynecologist. So here is the nutshell. The first thing I started doing as a Faster Way to Fat Loss client on day one was using intermittent fasting. If you've never heard of it before, it is an eating schedule, and it builds a system for you. It impacts your metabolism, your body chemistry, and your habits. Essentially, I stop eating after dinner at 7, and then I don't eat again the next day until 11. And that long time of not eating is what started my hormones coming back into balance. Because every time we eat, our master hormone insulin has to do a lot of work. And if it never gets a break, then it's never balanced. And then the rest of our hormones are never balanced. And then add on that you're 40-ish and our hormones are going through a natural change of imbalance as we move towards menopause. And it's the perfect storm. So intermittent fasting was the perfect solution to help all of my hormones come back into balance. So that's why I started feeling so much less anxiety and less frustration and better mood when I began intermittent fasting, and within a few days. And I'm going to be so honest with you to say that for about 3 days I was a little hungry, but never felt the brain fog I was worried about, or the dizziness, or that I would pass out. None of that ever happened. So intermittent fasting was the first step for me. The second thing I learned by about the third day in my Fast Your Way group was the next linchpin of what has changed everything for me after 40. And that is that I learned how to eat enough whole food. I realized really quickly I was never eating enough whole food. I was overdoing the processed foods and underdoing what my body really needed: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. We call it macro tracking in the Fast Your Way, but the real deal is that we're just eating whole food that you could have picked from the earth, or in if you eat animals that would have had a mother. And that, again, has such a great impact on your hormone balance that it's a secret weapon after 40. So I didn't have to guess anymore about food. I knew what I was looking for, and I knew how much I needed because I was also set up by my coach about how to eat enough. So get in enough carbs, proteins, and fats. I didn't have to feel like, oh, I'm overdoing the carbs and that's why I'm gaining weight, or I'm overdoing the fats and that's what. No, all that overwhelm and confusion was taken away because I was taught how to know how many carbs, proteins, and fats I needed and how to get them from my food in really doable ways, very simple, just eating real food. That was an amazing piece of the puzzle. That again was part of why I stopped feeling frustrated and anxious and having trouble sleeping, because I was consistently under eating healthy carbs, and healthy carbs are our body's preferred source of fuel. So when I never had enough, I never had hormone balance. That led to the anxiety in part. I couldn't sleep well. That negatively impacted my sleep. But within about a week, this is how fast this works, because this is how fast hormone changes make you feel better. Within about a week of intermittent fasting, balanced with eating enough whole food nutrition, I was happy to get out of bed in the morning. It was like I did a 180. The third piece of the puzzle for me, and I think for so many of us, because we were raised being taught to eat less and exercise more, was the exercise change that I learned in the Fast Your Way to Fat Loss. And this was really hard for me to go along with, to trust the program on, trust the system. But here's the deal. Here's what I learned. I needed to do less cardio. And so maybe you're like me, like I've been going to the gym since high school and being taught exercise is how you lose weight. Well, I came into the Fast Your Way program and they said, that's actually not true, especially after 40, when your hormones just get too out of balance from too much high intensity cardio. And so instead of going to the gym for an hour and a half long class, 6 days a week, I stopped that and we just do 2 days back to back of cardio for only about 25, 30 minutes. And it looks like HIIT. And you can kind of connect with what that is. And then we do 3 days of strength training, which was brand new to me, with heavy weights, so we build muscle. And we have 2 days when we rest on purpose and do maybe yoga or Pilates or a walk or just chill. It was such a big change. I had so much free time. I'm like, shouldn't I be at the gym? Like, what am I doing? But again, within a week, I felt so much better. And I did not gain weight. Instead, following this system, I lost about, I would say it was probably about 12 pounds in the first 6 weeks in the Fast Your Way. That's not typical. Now that I am a person who leads other women and men through the Fast Your Way, I see there is no typical thing that happens to your body as you implement these changes. What did also happen to me that I see as more typical is that I lost inches all over my body. So I think I lost about 8 inches during the first 6 weeks, especially in my belly. I felt so much less bloated. The belly fat that had been accumulating so strangely to me, even as I was exercising so much, started to just melt away. It was it was very hard to believe, and it was an amazing experience. But what really was going on, again, my hormones were just getting happy and balanced. That over-exercising with that high-intensity cardio puts us into a fight or flight stage, which releases a stress hormone called cortisol. That stores belly fat, it stores body fat, it negatively impacts your sleep. And so shifting my exercise in that way was my third piece of the puzzle. I started my intermittent fasting, got my whole food nutrition with the carbs, proteins, and fats in the amounts that were right for me, and then changed my exercise. And now I have muscles I can see, I have so much energy, I have so much hope, I have mood balance, I want to get out of bed every morning and have so much confidence. And I've got this feeling that I even started this new life as someone who leads others through this Fast Your Way to Fat Loss program and teaches others about hormones after 40. And that's nothing I ever thought I would do. So I want you to have that information, and that really even more than the information, I just want you to have the hope or even the knowledge, the fact that you can get better after 40. You can lose the weight, you can get your energy back, you can get your sleep back. You can put systems into place that will work even though you are working full time and transitioning kids to college and helping your aging parents and all of the other things that you have on your plate. You absolutely can. And to help you get there, that is why I lead other women and men through the Fast Away, because we have the system that is built to work for you at our age already in place. I help you learn it and practice it every day in your life and check in on you every day on how it's going. It's good stuff. So I'm so glad that we got to connect. Go ahead and read through my next few emails I'm going to share with you to get more specifics on intermittent fasting, whole food nutrition, and smarter, not harder exercise. And let me know what you think. I would love to work with you in one of the groups for the Fast Away to Fat Loss that I run and connect with you to hear your story so that you can get better. You can lose the weight. You can get your sleep back. You can be amazing after 40.